Anthony Richardson to Alec Pierce. Nick, is this your play of the weekend?
Oh, yes, and that is a -120 favorite to be the throw of the year.
Wow. Talk to Chris Collinsworth.
I love. Come on, leave Chris alone. Somebody's studying overtime right now. That's 70 yards in the air with someone at your feet and at your face.
Pretty good, Greg.
I thought he'd have the run of. Remember, he was the run of the year, but it could end up being the pass.
Oh,
remember that? I had my player of the year.
Yeah,
please look at this. Like, he slips. He doesn't even have an opportunity to step into it. He's falling back.
So it's the third longest air yards pass since they started tracking it, and the other two are Hail Marys. And there's just a regular.
Yeah, and this is just, he didn't even, right. I mean, I think he could throw the ball almost as far as Brew could throw it in high school.
That's
85, 90 yards. Also, I rescind the Chris Collinsworth joke. I think Chris is awesome. I was kidding. I love him.
Of course. That was ridiculous.
Weird. Titans clinging to a 1-point lead in Chicago. This is, if the previous play was the play of the year, this might be the worst pass of the year. Greg?
Yeah, this wasn't good. This is not good at all. Anytime you're panicking as a quarterback and you decide to throw the ball forward and you literally see the defender in front of you, I question your judgment.
It's brutal because you're ahead too.
Yes.
Like that's
sack.
Right. I mean, there are circumstances where it's 4th down and you're trailing, and a sack is as good as a turnover, and so just
I forgot.
You know what I mean? But
Go ahead, Brew. Remember, I was going to read our text chain when Brew was very upset because this was his
Oh,
I would have been unbearable had the Titans won today.
Yeah.
And I thought they had it until this.
Do you want me to pull it up, what Bruce said?
Yeah.
Here's Broussard. The red and light blue shoestrings Air Force Ones are Titans colors. This was before this. Brew then. Levis ruining a potentially great show with 5 exclamation points. He just so badly wanted the Titans to win.
He saved you, Nick.
Yeah.
He saved you.
Wonderful. Cowboys-Browns. Deshaun throws this directly to Micah. Greg, are the Browns and Deshaun that bad, or are the Cowboys' defense just that good?
I think it's Deshaun, really. I really believe if you just pluck Deshaun out and put Jameis Winston in, you might have a different product offensively.
Wow. And shout out Tom Brady. That was kind of his first, call the play before it happens moment. He circled Micah on the play, said they were having trouble with him, and then he instantly forced the interception.
Yep. Weird. Titans-Bears. Caleb on the move. Nope, Sebastian Joseph Day with the tackle. Caleb did get the quarterback win. It really pressed my quarterback win philosophy that I
feel free to use this as a moment that maybe you have slightly overvalued
quarterback
wins as a real stat.
No, he
Well, then why have you said he had the worst day of any quarterback when thus far 15 have lost?
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems to really conflict with your long-held belief.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know what to say. Played terribly, but he got a quarterback win. I'm stuck. I believe he's 1-0. He did it.
And that's really the only quarterback stat.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Wins.
So, I guess he played great. I'm stuck. I'm in a corner. Final weird. We're early in Colorado, Nebraska. This is Shador to Nebraska. Colorado loses this one. Not great for Colorado.
Great for your buddy Nick Wright.
Why? Because you're a Mahomes.
Well, I do like mini Mahomes, but that's not even the point. I told America a week ago that any Colorado futures that people want to get rid of, they should get rid of, and then I bet Nebraska -6.5 in this game could have been, I swear, 48-3 if Nebraska kept its foot on the gas. Colorado.
I'm surprised they didn't, to be honest.
Colorado cannot compete with people that have legitimate offensive or defensive lines. They just can't.
That's weird and wonderful from the National Pastime. It's Monday Night Football. We're a few hours away. Aaron Rodgers' debut, take 2. San Fran favored by 4. Brew, what version of Aaron Rodgers do you think we see tonight?
Well, look, I've been consistent in saying I'm so impressed, and I get it. He went to Egypt, all right? outside of that, if I can say that, he has been engaged and he's been all in from the moment he became a Jet, putting the Super Bowl expectations on himself, all that. Showing up, obviously, for voluntary workouts and things. So I've expected to see an above-average, season from him, somewhere in between his last year in Green Bay and the MVP Aaron Rodgers, but a little closer to MVP. And I think all of us felt this way. You said it, but just watching Kirk Cousins, who's not even as old as Aaron Rodgers, and could not move on that Achilles, it just makes me more curious to see, okay, what's Rodgers going to move? Like, he still should be, I think, still be a great passer. But if he can't move, that has been a part of his game. And so I'm a little more curious about that. But I'm still, right now, I feel good. I think they'll lose tonight. I think the Niners win. But I still feel good about my Jets winning that division.
I love him as a player. But it's kind of like my collector's car that I have sitting in my garage, Wilds. I don't know if it's going to crank up if I get in there, if I have it sitting for a while. If it gets cranked up and I start driving it, I better be a little gentle.
Yeah.
Warm the engine up a little bit.
Yeah. Back roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once it's rolling, it's like, okay, let me give it a little something. That's kind of how I feel about Aaron Rodgers tonight. I really don't know what I'm going to see and what we're going to get because we haven't seen it in over a year. However, if he does get it going, if they start him off a little slow, running the ball, supporting him with easy throws, and he gets a little confident, I know his brain isn't gone. Mm-hmm. I know he understands how to dissect defenses. If he can get that, then he might turn into something special.
I'm incredibly, to me, that Kirk Cousins game was enough for me to fully believe in the Niners tonight. And again, I know they're different players, but it's the same injury, relatively same timeline, and Rodgers is older. Cousins also, by the way, was their last both healthy year was better than Aaron. He was the year before both of them popped their Achilles. Mm-hmm. I think the offensive infrastructure with the Jets is haphazard at best.
Yeah.
And we don't have a giant sample of older quarterbacks coming off a torn Achilles in their first game. But one of them we just saw. And that player looked the worst he's looked on an NFL field in years. And maybe the worst he's looked on an NFL field at 1 p.m. ever. You guys know my long-standing skepticism about the Jets as contenders for the season. But even with that skepticism, I thought tonight they might surprise some people because I think the Niners offseason, your team vibes check that it hasn't, the Niners
the vibes are great now.
Well, they're good now, but as of 96.
Bad vibes, and the vibes got great.
Okay, all right.
But on different music.
That's why I'm asking about that. And
so the lighting a little bit.
But I no longer think that. I just think the Niners' defensive line and Nicky Bosa are going to terrorize Rodgers, and that's going to be that for tonight.
Could it go really bad?
I think it could go really bad.
Like Caleb Williams bad?
He's not a guy making his first start ever.
But they could get beat
again, I just have a question.
Go ahead.
If you don't turn the ball over at all and your team wins the game, how bad was it really?
Good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just asked.
Hey, Jacoby Brissett didn't play great, but he did play great.
It's very disappointing. You think I'm disappointed? Imagine what the Giants are feeling right now. Dable is feeling right now. This is who's running our offense. You talk about bad. You talk about Will Levis and his interception. The fact that we almost turn on the TV, and if Daniel Jones is under center, he's going to give a pick six to the defending team.
So can I just say something real quick? This is Wilds, and you'll like this.
Okay.
For people that watch Sunday football, multiple screens, whatever, one of them's Red Zone. If Red Zone cuts to a game,
oh my gosh,
and the team who has the ball, you're like, oh, I bet this is a disaster and not a great play. The quarterback's cooked. And every time yesterday they cut to the Giants or the Panthers, I was like, oh no, what happened? And so that's the gut thing. Brew, I think week 4 against Dallas on Thursday Night Football, is his final start as a Giant.
Can I say
But
one
see,
last thing
yeah.
really quick, Brew? I'm sorry.
Yep.
And Wild, you told me, and I said to America, I'm a very loyal guy. Daniel Jones, you're dead to me.
Wow! Wow!
Unwise. He's going to have a great game.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. This
Wow.
is chess.
Impressed by that.
It was
That was
motivating.
impressive. Here's what I'm going to say. It's something, and it's something. I'm not even going to play it up. It's something good. And I don't think they should bench him. Let this dude play. You're paying him $40 million this year. Let him play. Let him stink up the joint and get the #1 pick.
Yeah,
and whether it's Shedeur Sanders or somebody.
Shedeur Sanders.
But I'm just saying.